All right, I'm going to try. There we go. Oh, you can't even see it. Oh, come on. Well, hopefully you can hear it. I was going to be silly. And how can I do this? I call this thing the Bert nose. It's actually on the real microphone that I'm using, and it's got this adjustable microphone stand, mic stand, but it's a wonky one. Oh well, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully you can hear me. Hey, Christine, and I just realized how tiny the font is. There we go. See you and hear you. Excellent. Thank you. Um, hold on, just a sec. Just a sec. Can I reach my yoga block? Oh, look at me. I'm doing yoga. Here's my yoga block. These things come in wicked handy, not just for yoga, not just for yoga, not just for yoga. There we go. But for propping up all sorts of things. How's that? Okay. Oh, I guess I could turn it that way, right? I'd look like I was on the nightly news or something. It's that lays so flat. Funny. Whatever. What are we gonna do? Narelle, nice to see you. You're up either early or late, my dear. I just noticed my door is open, but you know what? Well, the hell not. My husband's not going to show up for a while yet. And even if he did, no big deal. So, yeah, I'm actually talking into a real microphone. Hopefully, that will stop any of the static that folks have heard before. Let me just do one more thing. There we go. I probably should clean my glasses, but good evening. Good or greetings from me in my time zone to you in your time zone. Yes, you're 9:30 a.m. on Thursday, I believe, Narelle. And that's right, because sometimes we catch you early and it's off. So greetings from the East Coast time zone from the United States. Oh, it is 8 o'clock. Oh, that's funny. A half hour thing. There we go. Kim Harris is in North Carolina. I'm in the Eastern Seaboard myself. Well, technically not the seaboard, but I always convince myself I am because being in a landlocked state gets me a bit of claustrophobia. So I just pretend that we can just look over New Jersey or down to Delaware and see the ocean. So close enough. There we go. Alice Springs. I've heard of Alice Springs. So here in the US, I will share with you, as you can even imagine, don't even get me started talking about all the crazy bullshit that's going on in the news, because we could spend all of our time and energy talking about it, and we're not going to solve it right here. What we are going to do to help solve it, though, is to teach ourselves the powerful skill of disrupting and interrupting the backseat driver, calming down our nervous system so we can be, instead of fight or flight, we can be in a better headspace and heart space to do some good stuff. There we go. Sue is in the central time zone, so she's got a couple hours early yet. I know Carla tends to be in the same time zone, in the central, because she and I are an hour off. And Christine, if I'm not mistaken, you're in another time zone as well. But you know what? Here we are. Here we are in a room full of strangers. Actually, you know what's funny? I will just share with you. I have quoted that that Bee Gees song. Speaking of Australia, I believe they came from Australia. I have quoted Nights on Broadway by the Bee Gees a couple of times because I tend to say "Here we are," and then I started listening to the lyrics the other day, and I was like, "This is kind of creepy. This is almost a bit stalker-esque." And I always just think those Bee Gees were such nice boys. Carla Jane in the house. Let me bump this up. I'm playing around with the microphone, so instead of me grabbing it, there we go. Christine, for her, it's 5 p.m. and she's ready to get to work during this live. All right, Christine, what are you going to work on and how can we help you? Okay. Any help you need, we're here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Carla, I've got your microphone right here, but I put the Bert on this one. And I swear, I think it's supposed to be turned around this way. Let me try this. Probably. My husband will be like, you were talking through the back of the microphone. But he's at a rehearsal today, so I'm doing the best I can with what I got here. All sorts of silliness. I hope you guys had a good day today. Even what regardless, you had a good day or you're going to make a good day and anywhere in between. I had a really good day. I got a really lot of random little things done, which can feel really nice. Crossing things off your list, getting that dopamine rush. I had some lovely coaching sessions with my lovely clients. I love it. There we go. Christine's going to just start with some living room cleanup, then more kitchen surface declutter. Love it. Love it. Those of you who tuned in this morning to the 8 a.m. or maybe it was 9 a.m. TikTok live, you may recall that I neglected to empty the dishwasher and the um, clothes dryer prior to that. I did it afterwards. Okay. Hey, I love it. Yay, Carla. So check this out. Carla bought her notebooks this afternoon because she's coming to the notebook party. I started making notes on these notebooks so I can better explain how to use 2 notebooks. And ideally, I don't want to make people go out and buy too many things and be like, oh my God, wait, what book do I put it in? But a 3rd book too. Okay. Good stuff. I am not going to make you buy too many things. There we go. Okay. Melanie D. Dear God, I need you guys. Ask and you shall receive, my friend. She's avoiding like a mofo. Hey, you know what? Avoidance can be a skill. I need to put away laundry, but I'm watching pimple popping videos. Put down the disrupting can be great. This is a fun thing. Just put it down. Don't, yeah, you had been. I mean, I'm not a pimple popping video, right? So you're watching me right now, Mel D. Yo, Mel D. Anybody else? Does anybody else want to put away laundry tonight? Would anybody else join Melanie and put away laundry together, yet separate? That could be a fun thing. Um, I would ask you, Melanie, why is it so? I mean, trust me, I get caught in they make social media so sticky, so seductive, so mesmerizing. It lulls you into this thing, and then you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Now, I'm talking about myself, really. Okay. Okay, Mel D. Mary Lou Rizzo has some laundry to put away. You want to both put away laundry together so you're not alone? Um, Start doing your laundry you know what I mean? You're not alone. You got friends. Last night, I will share with you. Um, my husband and I did some work. We were replacing some of the light bulbs on our patio. Yay! And Mary Lou is definitely going to take advantage of this time. And Melanie, I hope you do too. All right, but it's your choice. You do whatever you feel. There's no judgment here. There's no right or wrong. There we go. Yes, please. Thank you. Awesome, Mel D. I love it. I don't know. I'm calling you Mel D as if you're one of the Spice Girls. Maybe you're one of the Spice Girls. Okay. Um, Okay, Carly Jane is making new recipe. Rock on for anybody who likes to cook, but she's going to help with she's going to join with the laundry crew once she's done as well. Um Last night, that's what I was going to talk about. Oh, couple things too. Some of you had asked on the YouTube lives for a kind of a little mini tour of our patio. Yesterday's YouTube live, which is recorded and is up on the YouTube channel, is shows the patio, but at night we have kind of it literally is Christmas lights. They look great. I love them. I would have nothing else. C9 Christmas lights above our patio. And we are slowly but surely exchanging like the old school filament ones that makes our electric spike. We are replacing them with some that look very good, very vintage, and they're LED ones, but they don't look LED. So we were doing that for a little bit last night, and then we took a walk to reward ourselves by stretching our legs. But then, of course, we stretched our legs and walked right down to the gelato place downtown because I had forgotten we had a gelato place downtown. We came back we saw some friends as they were eating out at one of the, the outdoor tables because it was so nice out. Such a long story. And to make a long story longer, I flopped down on the couch. We both were just there scrolling on our phones. He went inside, and as soon as he went inside, boom, the patio lights went off. And I said, "Hey, hey, It wasn't him. He just walked in at the same time that the lights that are on a timer went off too. But the lights going off were enough of a disruption and getting me out of the zone of social media that caused me to stop my scrolling and go inside. Do not, you guys know the power of a disruption, because sometimes you know that there's so many things you need to do to get yourself focused because you are easily disruptible sometimes, and other times you're maybe way down in the rabbit hole, right? How can you find ways to disrupt yourself? A timer is a wonderful thing, you know? So I love it. Mel D, I hope we've disrupted you enough that you're starting on your laundry. Mary Lou's doing hers. Michelle will be cooking chicken for lunch tomorrow. And while that is cooking, I will start a load of laundry. I love it. I love it, you guys. It's the laundry team. Keep us, I almost said abreast. Keep us abreast of how your progress is, okay? Aboobed. Aboobed. I'm cracking myself up. I got some good stuff today. If you asked me in my head right now, I'd be like, I don't know. But you know what I do? This is what I'm doing right now is I'm looking down on my daily roadmap. That's what I'm calling this day. This one page in my notebook where I have the day and the hours. This is like kind of my loosey-goosey schedule for the day. There we go. Therapy Gal Sue says, I'm team paperwork declutter with blurry eyes. Is there something else that would be easier to declutter when your eyes are blurry? Now, trust me, I cannot see a damn thing without my glasses, and now that I have my glasses on, I notice I've got this weird little jub here. Sue, don't tax your eyes. I am very conscious of this because I've had to wear glasses. Technically, I had to wear glasses since I was probably in 7th grade. I didn't get them till 9th, so that's why my grades were in the poop scoop. Is there something else you could declutter? Do you have to do paperwork declutter tonight? Could you do something else that's easier on the eyes? Just asking for your eyes. Taking care of your body, you know? It will be easier for you to do stuff when you're squinting, and I find sometimes I probably give myself a headache when I'm squinting too much. But do what you feel is good, but just know, unless you what was that? When it absolutely has to get there overnight, was that FedEx back in the day? Yeah, Barbara's offering paperwork might be easier at a declutter party. Yeah, it might be. And then Sue, honest to God, too, not even if you don't want to wait until Saturday's declutter party. I'm looking at the calendar right now. I got to make it where I can see it better. Tomorrow we've got a TikTok live and a YouTube live. You could do paper sorting then. Friday we have a TikTok live and a YouTube live. I'm looking at my calendar, but you know that they are listed on the secret page, right? So check the secret page, and maybe you just say, nah, I'm not going to do my paperwork tonight. I'm going to do something that I don't need to be so detail oriented, give myself a headache and hurt my eyes. Also, yes, we do have a declutter party, 8 a.m. Eastern, which I know is early. I will not do the wicked early ones as often, people, okay? There we go. Therapy Gal Sue. See, she was able to find something that was less taxing on the detail work. I mean, seriously, you should see how big the font is on the screen I'm looking at right now, because I have my face right here in the camera, and then I see your comments right there. I have to like pump up the volume on that like nobody's business, because it's going to be easier than me squinting the whole time and getting right in and being like, what'd you say? But we do have a declutter party on Saturday, the 26th at 8 a.m. Eastern. Then we also have the notebook party at noontime. Wicked psyched for that. That is going to be live on stage. It is going to be totally unscripted. I might write down a few things, and I am going to need your help with that, okay? Because there's one thing I'm already thinking of. And maybe, you know what, if any of you guys are going to be on it, pregame it. Don't write it in the comments right now because I probably won't remember it, but I'll share this with you. You get a sneak peek of what's going on in the party. Okay. So one of the things, let's work backwards. So I keep a book Sometimes I call it the good book because it's full of good stuff, but that gets too Bible-y for me, and I'm not particularly religious. If you are and the good book works for you, that's great. If you'll notice now, I say book 3, and I'm calling it my road trip journal, my travel journal, road trip travel journal, because I like the road trip metaphor. Think about it. If today you were on the road on a road trip, you may have pulled into that cute little Route 66 motel. You've got the air conditioning on, you've got some snacks, you're laying down on the bed and you're reflecting on the day, and you are taking stock of the good stuff that happened. That's exactly what this book is. So it totally is like your road trip through the day. Now, where did I put my map? So you write that. So this is your road trip journal. This is pretty good. Book number 2, which is the one that comes before that, this is your road trip, your daily roadmap calendar. This is the one that I'm often showing you with the date up here and the lights and the thing like that, right? So this is your daily road trip calendar where you say, if I start driving here and I stop driving there, what are some things I can do? The one I'm kind of struggling with. So I ask your help, and I'll also ask this during the live. So think about this. Do not put your answers in the comments now because I won't remember them. And let me focus. Book number 1. Book number 1 is going to be kind of what I'm calling it so far. I literally wrote, what is a good name for this book? Notice how I'm also chunking down the thoughts here. It's a workbook because you do the work in it, but sometimes the word work makes people not want to show up. It could be, it's not the list of things to do book, and yet it has a list of things to do, or kind of like a how to get there. I want to make it be kind of road trip related, but also think about it. What's a good name for the place that you kind of solve the problems, you calm down your nervous system, you write down the stuff, and you, maybe the Book of Downs? I don't know, could be. Anyhow, those are the 3 books. If you don't want to do, it could be a map, but it's like you're planning the map. If anything, this one's a little bit more of a map because you're actually putting things in order. This is almost just kind of that brain dump. Yeah, travel plans, maybe. Yep. I'll write down travel plans. See, I actually will write it down. Thanks. Plans. Yep. Kind of like a place to dump the travel plans, travel ideas, maybe. Because in ideas, the rest area could be rest area. But actually, I will say, Mary Lou, this is actually where the work gets done. This is where, and Carla knows because we were doing it today, you'll fold your paper in half and you'll ask yourself, why am I procrastinating on the laundry? And then you listen to your answers and then you write it down. It can be eye-opening. That's not necessarily rest. Oftentimes after you use this book, you'll want to take a rest because it can be bringing up some stuff that you don't know about. You don't need to come up with the answer now, but I just wanted to clue you guys into it. Okay. Also, after the party, I want to hear how this worked for you. If 2 books seemed too many, maybe we'll just use the front of one and the back of the other one, or the same one, so you don't have to keep track of as many things. As I said, work in progress. Itinerary could be. All right. So speaking of that, that is how I can review what I did today, what I thought I was going to get done. And some of it was scheduled and some of it was just done between different things. I was very proud of my husband. Yeah. Itinerary for the second one. Itinerary. I do like that one. Yeah, because it is kind of like, when you get those, like your daily travel itinerary. Itinerary. My clients will know when I say write it down legibly, because I don't write things legibly all the time. And then I actually got something returned to me in the mail because I don't think they could read my writing, which is crazy. Travel memories. That's a good one. Thank you, Carla. Memories. Travel memories. Thanks for the memories. This is how I know what I got done. After we get out of this tonight, I will write down some of the things. I already started it, actually. I did a 9 a.m. TikTok live. I had a morning walk to the post office, and I got an iced tea. I know other good things happened. Oh, here was a fun thing I did. Here's a fun thing I did, and then Kara's tuning in, but I just got to share this because this cracked me up. I picked up a book from a little free library. Does your town have those? My town has a number of them, and I love them, and I also check them when I go traveling. And I picked one up and I kind of skimmed through it. And basically, here's a good thing. This was a big, fancy, like, businessy kind of self-help book, AKA it was for boys, not girls. So it was business, not self-help. And it was called like the gain and the gap, or the gap and the gain. And it was basically talking about, don't focus on what's ahead of you because it'll bum you out, but look in your rear view mirror and remind yourself of all you've done, and you'll feel better. I skimmed through it last night on the patio, and I went to go put it back in the little free library. And this morning when I did that, I realized that the little free library was a little bit kind of strubly. I don't know what else to say, like kind of messed up, a little bit disorganized. So I organized the little free library, and I realized I'm like a little free librarian. I'm librarianing the little free library. So I love that. That's about all I could handle for that. Nothing bigger than that. Anyhow, welcome. There we go. Kara, you guys. Kara just came back from a wonderful trip to Los Angeles. If you follow her on TikTok, she's put some fabulous videos of that gorgeous um, Hollywood Hills Airbnb she stayed with. She is sitting on the bench after a garden cleanup. I love it. After Cali, I was inspired to get rid of the bright, jarring yellow daylilies my cousin gave me last year. They are unsettling in my moon garden. Yeah, notice that at a certain point they feel good, and maybe not this year. Sometimes you like a bright color, and other times you want to create a moon garden. It's okay to uproot things that you don't want planted in your garden anymore. If that isn't both realistic and practical in a real garden, and also a metaphor for clutter, I don't know what is. Now, notice clutter is just something you don't want. It doesn't mean that yellow daylilies are bad. I have orange daylilies in my front yard and side yard, and I freaking love them. It doesn't mean any judgment. If you don't like it, that's okay. You don't need to have them in your yard. I also have, what are they, daffodils? Yeah, they come up early in the spring. I do not like the color yellow they are. They are very pale, very soft yellow. They might be good in a moon garden. And now I keep on wanting to sing, "It's a fabulous night for a moon garden. Da, ba, ba, da, da, ba, da, da, boo." Right? Some people like the dark orange ones. Yeah, I've gone past. There's some of those that are planted near the war memorial in the park near us. The ones that almost have like the orange and the blood, burgundy in them. There's all sorts. That means there's nothing wrong with you for liking it or not liking it, and there's nothing wrong with the thing. You just don't particularly care for it. It's okay to uproot it and let it grow somewhere else. Some things have grown roots in your home. It's okay to uproot them, even if you like them at one point. I've done that today. I will share with you guys at the back of this is the door to my room, and I'm letting some air come in and out. But behind that, you usually see just a white door of a closet like this one here. They're literally like buddies. And as many of you know, I am making a concerted, thoughtful effort to wear everything in that closet, and everything is not 100% everything, but I'll explain. Wear most of the clothing in that closet one time before I start repeating the things. And what I've started to do is wear the stuff in this closet. And then after I wear it and clean it or hang it out or air it out or whatever, I hang it in there. So every time I go to this closet, there are fewer items in it. And there were two items that I realized, you know what? I've worn those before, and I really don't care to wear them again. I had some fun wearing that dress. I bought that dress in Mallorca, Spain, which is kind of neat. But nobody else knows except for me that I bought it in Mallorca, and I'm kind of done wearing that. I have maybe a picture of me wearing it. I know specifically I wore it last summer when we went to see Slowey and the Boats at Longwood, and I'm kind of done with it, you know? And here, I'm just going to try this because I'm not looking at the comments. I got to figure this out. So I was okay with, instead of wearing it, I decided to put it in the to-go bag. I also had two very similar pairs of like big kind of linen trousers with bright black and white prints on them. I love that look on other people. And Kara's like, "See, I would love those." Yeah, exactly. So we have different tastes. But you know what I mean? It's nothing, no harm, no foul. And I realized I had 2 pairs of these trousers that are very similar. I like one better than the other, frankly. And that cut does not I'll try them on again, but it's not necessarily it's good on some body types, but to me, it's not the best. It's better now that I've lost some weight, but why have 2 pairs of pants you're kind of iffy on? So again, I had worn those in the past. I've decided to, what do you call it? To fold them up and put them in the I almost said the recycle bin. The to-go bag, the donate bag that I'm gonna donate tomorrow. My husband actually just bought a new shirt, and part of the agreement is if he buys a new shirt, a couple more shirts have to go into the donate bag, okay? So I say to you, sometimes you think you're gonna wear it, and after you keep on now when it's really down to the wire, I'm saying, "Why am I not wearing those things?" And a couple of things have come out, so I will share this with you. I will share my journey with you because this may help you when you're on this part of the journey. There are things that I easily wore, and man, if I did not pay attention, I'd be wearing them on repeat. They're in this closet right here. But then when I look at the few things that I haven't worn, a couple of subcategories come up. One subcategory was, as I mentioned, stuff that I'm just like, I don't feel like wearing it. And I feel okay putting it in a donation bag. The other category, and this is why I said I'm not going to wear everything, is there are 2 specific 2 and a half, because one of them is a shawl. There's 2 and a half things that are hanging in this closet because technically I have not worn them, but they are very kind of well, maybe 3. They are very kind of more dressy than my everyday wear. Now, one of them is the polka dot dress that I think some of you saw in one of the declutter parties, the Marimekko polka dot dress that I wore when we stayed at the TWA hotel at the JFK. God, 6 years ago? It didn't fit me for a while. It is the dress I wanna be buried in, but I realized I can fit into it because I actually tried it on. I have a plan for that dress, I'm bringing it to Chicago. Now the other dress is a little bit more funky. It's this tiki dress, and again, it's got some fringe on it. It's really a special occasion dress. Knowing that, I could technically wear it to the Acme to go grocery shopping and nobody would give a look, but I want to find a special occasion to wear it in, okay? So I say to you, as you go through, you're going to initially do the things that are easier. And then as you weed those out like a garden, you're going to be left with the stuff that takes a little bit more thought and decision making. And the neat thing is you've given yourself time and practice to know that there's a story behind why you're not reading it, you know? Yeah. Now, this is interesting. Kara says in the gardening slash decluttering metaphor, they say a weed is anything that is growing somewhere that you don't want it. Yeah. Same for cluttering and decluttering. Notice she has kept those in her garden out of guilt because her cousin gave them to her. If they had just grown up organically and there was no story of being gifted them by her cousin, she probably would have picked them out years ago. Yeah. Now she's realizing she doesn't want a guilt garden. I just made that up. Totally just made that up. Okay. Yeah. Um, and I love it. I love that you're also giving it to your neighbor. Yay. Hey, hey, we've got an update. It's so funny. I still want to grab the wireless mic. I don't think this is going to last too much on here, but I'm experimenting. We've got an update. This just in. The laundry report from Mary Lou Rizzo. I hope it's Rizzo, not Risso. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Laundry update. She's just finished a bag of socks. A basket of socks has been finished in the Rizzo laundry section. Anybody else who's in the laundry department who wants to chime in, feel free to share your wins so far. You definitely, even if you've put away one t-shirt, you've made progress. Feel free to show it off and wave your hands in the air like you do not care. You can pronounce it either way. Okay, thank you. I live outside of Philly, and I know they had Mayor Rizzo. Rizzo. I was talking about Rizzo and Kaniki on the TikTok live because they go together like Rama Lama Lama, ga-dinga-da-dinga-dunk. Anybody? Kara has a black striped shift Marimekko dress. It's in the to sell pile. It's not my size, or I keep it. If it's my size, email me. Um, yes, sometimes we have things and we like them, but they just don't fit in our gardens, on our bodies, in the way we live. We need to, either take it in or put it out or move it around, or find an event to wear it to. Like my black and white Marimekko polka dot dress, I was so excited to try it on because it fit. And then here's the thing, you guys, you don't realize how much your brain is working in the background all the time, even when you don't think anything's going on. Your brain is working silently in the background to create solutions to your problems. You just have to give it some info. It's almost like putting in some of those little like cards back in the day in a computer, and it will be chugging along in the background because all of a sudden it had never occurred to me, and I probably wouldn't have even thought of it if I was too afraid to try on the dress. But the black and white Marimekko dress is what I'm gonna wear in just a couple of weeks when we go see Herb Alpert in Chicago. Talk about a wonderful special occasion to wear my 60s inspired print and cut, going to see some and hear some 60s, legit 60s music by a man in his 90s. So do not be afraid to try on the clothes. Now, I don't think she's in here tonight, but she pops in sometimes. Judy Dukes. She popped up earlier today and I was singing her praises. La. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's Sergio Mendez. Did I say Sergio Mendez? This is Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass is doing Whipped Cream and Other Delights, which is an iconic album. Everybody can picture it right now, right? Avocado green, sexy lady dressed in whipped cream. I grew up with that album, and literally I thought she was the most beautiful woman in all the world. And recently I think I found out that somebody's related to her. Yeah, and I love Brazil 66 too, do not get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. Sergio Mendez and, Herb Alpert, I have, like, a literal section about this big in our record collection. Legitimate records, not just the CDs. Um, yeah. Yeah, Carla Jane, Rise. Yeah, that was him in the '80s. Was that the '80s with Luke and Laura and all that? Yeah, and my dress is totally very Brazil 66. Maybe I'll share a picture. We'll see. We'll see. Do not be afraid to try on the clothes. It's just a way of measuring where you are. Do not judge yourself. Try to love your body, people. I say try to because I'm trying to do it myself. But at least you'll know if you fit into it. You may be pleasantly surprised at the stuff that you fit into. You may be pleasantly surprised when you don't fit into something that it may give you the excuse to let it go. Okay? Carla Jane played that in concert band. Carla Jane, what musical instrument did you play? I'm just curious. I'm thinking clarinet. I don't know why. I'm just saying that. Maybe the flute, could be the sousaphone. I don't know. Um, just don't be afraid. Fear stops you from doing a lot of things. Since we're talking about music, I could do my Morrissey and say shyness is nice, but shyness can stop you from doing all the things in life you'd like to. You played the sax. I love it. I love it. My niece and my nephew played the sax in marching band, rock. And speaking of saxophone, I also love of that musical era, Astro Gilberto, and there's a famous album, Gilberto and Getz, Stan Getz playing the saxophone. Some saxophone I don't like, I will share with you since it's just us and he probably doesn't watch my show. We are friends with a man who's in a famous band from Philly. He plays the saxophone. And sometimes he hits notes that make me want to just punch somebody. Um, so yeah, so sometimes there's nice mellow, that jazzy saxophone. Um, I love it. Barbara played the clarinet. Then you moved to color guard. I love it. Girl from Ipanema, completely. Yes, and there was a free library across from your Airbnb. I love that. I have discovered, here's one of the things I love to do when I am traveling. There's a map you can look at from the little free libraries, and you can see where they are. That gives me a reason to go to certain neighborhoods and just do my morning walk somewhere. I did that in Palm Springs, and I picked up a couple of books, And then I read one of them while I was there, and then I went back to that neighborhood and took a different morning stretch of the legs and admired all the houses, and I put it back in somebody else's free library. It was just a nice, fun little thing. So, if I was afraid of somebody judging me or yelling at me or that I didn't belong or that I'd get in trouble, I might not have done that. But I quieted down my nervous system, okay? I quieted down my nervous system and said, "What's the worst that can happen? I'm walking on a public street. These libraries were meant to be interacted with the public, and I had a wonderful time. Do not be afraid." This is funny because again, I was talking earlier about like self-help for boys is called business, business uh books, and self-help for women is called self-help and self-care and all those soft words. And yet they're filed somewhere differently, but they're all the same. Seth Godin, whose stuff I think is very interesting, but he's definitely very marketing and businessy and whatever side of the brain that makes things pretty boring sometimes, frankly. Even he said, I get it right here because I get an email from him every day. Not personally. I mean, we're not buddies or anything. I'm on a mailing list. And even he said there was some good stuff there. Here, let me do this. When in doubt, look for the fear. When in doubt, if you are doubting, if you don't know why you aren't doing something, start with looking for the fear. And it can be the fear of anything. The fear is also the deep fears and also the shallow fears. I don't want to go work in the garden today because I'm afraid I'm going to get overheated and sweaty and cranky. The fear of being an uncomfortable temperature will stop me from doing things. Now that's pretty shallow end of the the declutter pool, the fear pool, but it's still there, you know. Damn, Barb Wilsdean, you are a creative mofo. I love that. She played the sax, the flute, the oboe, and the English horn. So good. There we go. Dad bought a bunch of instruments from a pawn shop, got a baby grand piano too from an individual. How cool is that? And notice Barb Wilsdean and anybody here who has ever played an instrument. You didn't know how to play it organically. You decided for whatever reason it could be fun to learn it. Ideally, you started because you wanted to do it, and you weren't good at it for a while. But you did not give up just because it wasn't easy or you weren't good right off the bat. Just like decluttering. Just like decluttering. Don't give up just because you suck at the very beginning. Do not give up. Every time you show up and practice, it gets a little bit better. I wish I had learned that lesson as a child. I really do. Yeah, player by the graph, that is the music staff. I love it. But you know what? Math is an art form. Math is a wonderful skill. There's nothing wrong with math. I love the fact that if you think about it, because I've seen it, um, math, music, every dance is based on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's just where you put the accent. Is it on the 1 and the 3 or the 2 and the 4? And then is it a cha-cha or a rumba or a waltz? And all of those are numbers based. So I love it. You know? Carla Jane says, I tried piano until the teacher told my mom my fingers were too short. Well, that's when you know the pianos were designed for people with bigger hands and probably men who typically have bigger hands. Notice that. Notice how we all live in a world that was basically designed for other people, and we do our best to get our best done in it. I say this as a nearsighted left-handed woman, so I've got a couple of strikes against me, right? Yeah, fractions helped my rhythm. Math helps you calm down your nervous system. You say, I'm going to take 3 slow, deep breaths, and each deep breath, I'm going to count to 6. And then my exhale is going to be 8. And I'm going to do 3 of them. Use math to your advantage. Yeah, assigning a number to something can be overwhelming. So then you chop that in half. Math makes you know how to cut something in half. Here's a little trick of the trade because I used to do retail math all the time. You guys probably know this because you all want a good deal. Anything that's 90% off, you just move the decimal place, right? Also, 75% off, you take half and then you take half of the half. Works every time. Math is reliable like that. It's not gonna be like, "No, half of 100 is 57 today." No, math, you can be relied on. I love it. I do. All right. Um, this is an interesting thing. I just glancing over here. I was looking up my Seth Godin because he had a thing and I'm saving it in it's the only email. I have 2 emails in my email box right now, and it's notes to self and kind of like Woody Guthrie, note to self. What was it? New Year's resolutions 1946. Brush teeth if any. Um Ignore sunk costs. We've talked about that. I've gotten him for him. Gratitude is a more useful fuel than anger. What was the one? Do do do. Focus on the heart. But some of these are better than others. Um, hmm, there's a bunch of good ones here. If you want me to forward it to you, like just throw me an email and I'll just forward it to you. It's pretty interesting. Yeah. Breath is everything. Learn about it. Yeah. I mean, think about breathing. The speed with which you do it is a number. The depth in which you breathe is something. The more oxygen, you don't want to drown yourself in oxygen, but I bet all of us, just in general, probably breathe far too shallowly, if that's how you pronounce it. And taking a few deep breaths can get oxygen to the far extremities, right? When you don't feel good, you may have a lack of oxygen. Notice how brain damage happens when you don't have enough oxygen. I'm not suggesting that we are getting brain damage at all, but practice breathing deeply, both in and out, connecting with your breath. Be really grateful that breathing isn't something you have to put on your habit tracker. Can you imagine if we had to remind ourselves to breathe? Many of us would be dead. Be grateful that the body that so much of the stuff that goes on in your body is, again, much like your body is allowing you to live by doing a lot of things automatically behind the scenes without you even knowing it until something's out of whack. So reconnect with your body and your breath. Your body sends you messages. Your body, well, I know this. This is so great. I know when I am helping somebody declutter or coaching, they send me a mess. Their face and their body language will send a message in lightning speed before the brain and word part can even be like, "Durr." But you can see how something goes over in a millisecond by the way somebody moves their body and their face. Okay. Oh, Christine. Yeah. Reminds me, just watched the Christopher Reeve documentary. Right. Yeah. Be grateful. Everybody here, be grateful for what you have. You know, I've got 2 arms to hold you and keep you satisfied. You've got 2 feet on the ground. Your legs work, hopefully. Everything that works properly or good enough in your body, celebrate that. Okay. What's that one? I've got 2 feet. What's that one? You guys got to help me with this one because I didn't know it was. I've got no. Oh no, that's Pinocchio. I've got no strings to hold me down. Okay, I guess he was a real boy. I was thinking of Annie for some reason. Never mind. Carla Jane says, Beth had my mood pegged before I even said my feelings this morning. Yeah, you can just tell. But you know what? You knew it yourself. Yeah. Doesn't it feel awful when you are totally exhibiting signs of being in a certain mood and the people around you are oblivious? You know? Pay attention to yourself as you would to a friend you love. A friend shows up and is like, "Hey, friend." And like, "Hey, what's going?" I'm okay. You know that they are sending you a message. They're not saying anything with words, but tone, volume. I guess I'm all right. Well, ask yourself, what's the story behind that if you're feeling that way? Sometimes, and Carla and I were talking about this, and I say this to myself often. If I am feeling a bit off and I don't know why, and I am kind of going through the checklist, and my checklist comes up empty, I will say, you know what? I bet there's nothing really wrong. I bet I'm just tired. And when I allow myself to be like, yeah, I'm just tired, it feels right. Do not underestimate how not feeling good in your physical body affects how you think and feel and do. Okay. Now, speaking of doing stuff, beep, 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 beep. This just in. This just in from the living room section. Christine has finished what she set out to do. Yes. She is, this just in. She says, finished what I set out to do. Stop. In the living room. Stop. She vacuuming, comma, dusting, comma, tidying, period. Thank you. Exclamation point. Hands up. Woo. Yeah. This just in. Beep, 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 beep. Over the teletype. Yay, Christine. Doesn't it feel good to finish what you set out to do? And I will share this with everybody. Finishing feels good, but even getting started and getting some of it done is always going to feel better than getting nothing done. So, yeah. Uh-huh. There we go. I love it. Carla Jane says, my bestie that went with me yesterday felt the same way. And she said she knew I would today. She said she felt the feels last night. Yay for feeling the feels. It means you're alive. I'm being thankful for a nice washcloth and a pretty dish we have in common. McDougs loves the microphones. I know. Maybe I'll do a 2 microphone thing. I still kind of like, we'll figure it out. Yeah. Yeah. But you asking what I was going to work on got me up. Yeah. Notice, notice what you can do. You could have ignored me. That would have been a choice. But notice when somebody asks you a question, including yourself, what's your answer to that question? And then when you articulate what you're going to do and you make a connection to somebody else, when you don't just keep it to yourself and say it to yourself, when you share that with somebody else, that creates, I guess, what they would call like a social contract. Now, I'm not going to hold you to the contract, but those little things, and you wrote it down, you put it into words, what you wanted to get done. And what you wrote down was indicative of about how much you thought you could possibly get done. That's a tool in your toolkit. Writing it down, sharing it with somebody else increases the likelihood that you'll get off of your couch and you'll do something. Okay. And you're rocking it. There we go. Michelle has over 3 pounds of marinated chicken cooked and a load of laundry started. I love it. I love it. Okay. I love it. I can't think of the word. Melanie D, Mel D. I'm sorry. I was coming back to check you in. I created a movement program for a school. I say we start and end the session with in our bag, breath, awareness, and gratitude. I love it. Good stuff. Yeah. Christine literally got off the couch. Kara is still on the bench and the solar lights came on. That showed me their location needs to be adjusted. Added that to the list. In fact, I can do that after you're live. I love it. Yeah, we waited till our patio lights went on to see which ones had blown out. Good. Yay, Barbara is feeling good. Saw F1 with Brad Pitt and now Matt Damon's on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire with Jimmy Kimmel. Awesome. Good stuff. Mary Lou Rizzo's laundry is finished. And here's where I'm going to, with love, scroll back and just ask Mel D, any laundry? Did you get any laundry done? Even a pair of socks away? I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you to do what you said you wanted to do. If you didn't, no big deal, no judgment at all. But I am hoping in my heart that we did. You did miss the patio reveal, but that's okay, Kara. It's okay because it's recorded. It's the one from yesterday. Okay? It's the one from yesterday. Yes, yesterday was the best day to do it because now we have work going on and it's crazy how well that's just the high traffic area in and out of the house, but also the humidity is back like a mofo. Okay? And so yesterday was the perfect thing, but there's a recording of it. And the fun thing is honestly, and I'm going to check on it right now. Let me see if I can do this. If you go to the July playlist, okay? View pull playlist. I'm just doing this. All. Okay. It's the video that doesn't have, like, a live picture of me like this on it. It has, like, the circle with my little framed things, and it was the 7:20 to 11 a.m. Destination Decluttered is live on the patio. That's the one, okay? It's on the YouTube, yeah. Stacy Babbage is just joining. Just joining. This just in. Stacy Babbage is just joining. She took a break from work, ate dinner, and got Dairy Queen. Oh, energy to get back to it. I love it. I love it. Yay! Yay! Here, you guys. Breaking news. Breaking news. Good stuff happening. Mel D has put away about 80% of her clean laundry. Everybody in the comments, flood her with dopamine congratulations. Here, let me do this. Can I do this over here? Let me see if this works. Yay, Mel D! I hope you see those little cornucopias of celebration. Yay! I'm tired of the guilt in the clothes I can't fit, and she made a giveaway pile. Rock on, hun. Notice you have the ability to what was it? Procrastinate like a mofo. You also look at how good you were at putting away your laundry. Good stuff. Good stuff. And making good away pile and put the guilt in the bag and give it away. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Okay. There we go. Rena has cleaned something today in her fridge that's been hard for my OCD forever. All right. Rock on. I'm giving you a high five, Mel D. Another one for Rena. And you get a high five. And you get a high five. Everybody. I don't need the two microphones. This doesn't even work. Hello. Is this one on? Yay. Yay for keeping a promise to yourself. Doesn't that make you just want to stand there with like a little, put on a towel and pretend it's your Wonder Woman cape? Wonder Woman, all the world is waiting for you and the powers you possess. Oh my God, that was so flat. I don't care. Mel D, you're Wonder Woman right now. Yes, you are. Bullets and bracelets. Good stuff. You are a Wonder Woman. It feels good to get something done that you said you were going to do. Bask in the glory. Stand on top of that mountain in your sassy Linda Carter outfit. You did it. Yay, you. Good stuff. It's funny because Carla and I were talking today about this notebook process that I use. And one of the things that often comes up with my one-on-one clients, because it's a process I share with them a lot, is this final book, what we were calling the road trip travel journal or travel memories, the writing down of the good stuff. One of the things that every single person's backseat driver comes up with when I suggest this new thing to do, they try to get you to not do it by saying, that isn't big enough to put in the book. That's not important enough. That's too small. That doesn't even count. And I am telling you, all right, listen up, backseat people. You are wrong. Every little bit helps. Every little bit. I'm the one who invented putting stuff in this book. There's nothing so small that it doesn't belong in this book. If it made you feel good, if it was the sun in your face, if it was you took a big poop, if it was I waved to a neighbor, if it was I put on that skirt and it didn't fit as poorly as I thought it was going to, write that stuff down. Nobody else ever needs to read these books. You can indicate they can, but you can also burn them before you die, but you can read them on your deathbed and you can remember all of the little micro moments of your life that were good, and they add up like pennies. Again, math will help you out. Look at the power of the individual and how it can expand. Pennies turn to nickels, turn to dimes, turn to quarters, turn to 50-cent pieces, turn to dollar coins, turn to dollar bills that turn into $5 bills and $10 bills and expanding. So when somebody tells you that you don't matter or your one vote doesn't matter or that penny doesn't matter or that little thing you did that you feel good about doesn't matter, flip them the bird and write it in your book. because the little things do matter, and enough little things together matters a lot more. If it didn't matter, listen up, you guys. If it didn't matter, they wouldn't try so hard to get you to not show up and do the little things. They wouldn't be discouraging you and trying to pretend it doesn't matter. Don't vote. We don't need pennies. That's not enough, because there's power in the penny. There's power in the little thing. There's a power in the individual. There's a cumulative effect when a bunch of individual little cool things and cool people get together that the big people don't want you to be aware of. Okay? And we gather in courage and love for ourselves and for other people. Yeah. I get very declarative because it's so important. Never let anybody belittle you, but even if they try to, know there's power in being little. You can go to a whole bunch of things that big things can't go into. Ha ha. All right. So when you go to bed tonight, I highly recommend whatever book you have around. If you have a notebook, if you have a pad of Post-its. I invented Post-its. Yeah, we're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. It was like my Mel Torme doing Twisted Sister. Um, Yay, Kara just adjusted all the solar party lights. Yeah. When we were changing the light bulbs from the incandescent to the LED, one may not make a difference um, in our bill with electricity, but changing each one of them individually will add up. You know, I love that Christine got my Romy and Michelle reference. I love that because we're all cool people right here. Yeah, part lights. Sorry, path lights. Gotcha. Before you go to bed tonight, because we've got about 3 minutes left. Look around where you are. If you are a cluttered person, you probably have more than one journal book that you have, pad of paper, I wrote a note to a friend on one of those little pads that you get at hotels that my husband swiped when we stayed at Chateau Marmont. That's totally name drop, like 15 years ago. I found them in his clutter and I took it, and I'm using them as little just notes that I put in with stuff. Whatever you can find to write down on, even if it's the back of a CVS receipt, and that's a lot of paper, write down some stuff today, even if it's tiny, especially if it's tiny. Practice writing down the good stuff that you made happen today and that also just happened to you while you were out doing good things. The sun on your face, the fun we had on a TikTok live and a YouTube live, the fact that you ate something tasty. Maybe you didn't have a headache today, you know? Write down those things and get in the habit. I would not tell you to do something if I did not so with my every fiber of my being believe and know and feel the power of that. But just start. Write down 3 things today somewhere and put that on your habit tracker that you did it. Then tomorrow, look at your habit tracker and try it again, you know? Yay. Yay. Now, Carla calls her big old good book. She says one of the big old good book items for today is literally, I felt the things that followed the action and it was good. It was needed. It was healthy. And I'm thankful I can feel. Notice the people that don't feel, that have no feelings, that are harming people because they don't feel. Don't be one of them, and don't be a robot, and don't be a what is it? Do. I'm thinking thriller. I'm thinking of what was it? Zombies, right? Don't be a zombie, but if you got to be a zombie, be one with some moves, right? Because every dance is based on 4. Am I right? At least here in the U.S. and other 4-based rhythms, or be cha cha 1 2 cha 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 1 2 cha cha cha. You got it. Yeah, the receipts cost trees to be cut. Yeah, so you might as well use the back of it for something good. Okay. So we're going to sign off right now because it just hit 9 p.m. Eastern. Um, I flossed my teeth today. That was a big deal. I've been slacking on it for a couple of days. I hope you all got something good done, even if it was just hanging out, having a laugh, connecting up with good energy people. I am psyched for everybody who got some stuff done, no matter what it was. Write it down. Stand there on the top of the mountain like Linda Carter. Feel good about what you did, and then decide to be your own version of a superhero tomorrow, too. Okay. Tomorrow is Thursday, July 4th, 24th. I'm turning the page. Turn the page. And I will tell you, we got a TikTok live backed up with a YouTube live. They're both there on the calendar. All right. Yay, Mel D got some good stuff done. I appreciate you too. I appreciate you sharing where you were struggling so we could help you. Notice there's nothing to be afraid of to ask the right people for help, and we're the right people. Okay. Tomorrow we get a TikTok live and a YouTube live back to back. It's very West Coast friendly and also lunchtime friendly. And then I've got a bunch of cool stuff I'm doing tomorrow. I get a bunch of cool stuff that I'm psyched about that I'm getting, having fun and getting stuff done. Okay. I hope you do too. Write it down so you do it, and then write it down that you did it. Okay. Yay. I'm going to sign off now, ending the stream. Have a good night, y'all. See ya. Y'all, do you hear me, Carla? I said y'all.